Hey lovelies, you're welcome back to Reviews and Recaps. I think Britt is delusional. The fact that she expects loyalty from the girlies that she's just met is wild to me. You did something horrible. Kenya did something that was despicable. Absolutely, you both are wrong. So if you feel like people can talk to you, but they can't talk to Kenya, that's crazy to me. We're going to talk about it. I want to give a review of this episode. I think all in all, the episode, I'll probably give it an 8. The reason I'll give it an 8 is I really did like the fact that Kelly was giving us a little bit more insight into her story. And we got to see Kelly's oldest daughter talk about her relationship with her bonus father, who is Kelly's estranged husband. I personally feel like it's disgusting to try to bring the children into that mess, especially when you've been her father since she was 2 or 3 years old. The least you can do is still try to keep in touch with somebody that you've regarded as your daughter. But I think that man is doing it intentionally. Let's be clear. He knows for a fact that that is what is going to hurt Kelly, and that is exactly what he is doing. He doesn't want to do that to his bio kids, but he wants to do that to the other kid that he helped in raising. Now, I will say, I love how when her mama was talking about let's do more meditation, she's like, nah, I need some therapy. And I think that is the right approach. I don't think meditation is going to solve it. I think sitting down in front of a professional, being able to talk about it and talk about how you feel and address those issues to move forward is the best way possible. Now, I want to talk about this whole Brit thing. Brit's scene with her husband was just weird to watch. I felt like it was given... I don't know if it's the husband does not know how to do empathy, but I was like, this is your wife. This is something serious. Now, I know she probably told him beforehand, so it may be that it feels like it is happening again for him, and maybe that's what his issue is. But if your wife is out here being emotional, talking about what happened, you just like wait so long before you hug her. And even the way you hug her, I wouldn't be comforted by that. But it seems like Britt is into whatever that is. Now, I want to talk about this thing that everyone keeps saying that it was found on the internet. It was found on the internet. Britt did say she had it scrubbed from the internet. Now, in reality, nothing can ever really be fully wiped off without some sort of trace. So, but the fact that she did all of that, and let's be clear, when this whole saga came out, I remember trying to search just to see if I can figure out like, okay, see if it's online or something. I could not see anything online. So whatever she did must have been real good because it was wiped off. Okay. And so when people say it was in the public sphere or it's in the public, I personally do not believe Kenya got it from the public. I personally believe that someone must have given or gotten it for Kenya somehow. Private investigator or someone random, someone got it to Kenya, in my opinion. Because why was it so hard to find if indeed it was roaming on the internet? And if any of you guys that keep saying, oh, it was in the public, tell me where you guys saw it. Have you guys seen it? Where was it? So it clearly is not in the public. And I know if you guys are in these YouTube streets and Instagram streets, you guys would know that Ming Lee came out to basically say she did not have nothing to do with the ish. However, she did admit to having some sort of image or footage of Britt, which I just think is wild. Like, why would you retain something like that if not that you're trying to use it for a rainy day? That is very weird to me. Now, I don't think that Kenya knew that this whole image was when she was a teenager, but according to Britt, she said something about giving oral when she was a teenager. Now, she did not say if it was early teens, but nonetheless, a teenager means under 18, which means underage, really. I know a lot of people like to call Peach Truth a liar, but at this point, she was telling the truth, allegedly, because she said that she was underage, which is given what Britt said. Now, if you're still listening, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Tap that bell button right next to it so you know every single time that I post. Now, let's talk about Porsha and Simon Guobazia, okay? Now, I will say, I know we don't like the way she got that man, but she seems genuinely hurt. She seems genuinely heartbroken. I feel like whatever Simon was feeding her, she bought it hook, line, and sinker. She really thought that man was going to be her forever, honey. She really must have thought that, because she seemed genuinely trying to resolve it amicably as possible. She talked about wanting for them to just sit in front of each other and talk about it and at least try to be cordial, but Simon ain't with it. Now, one thing Porsha said that I agree with is her husband is trying to be an influencer. That is what is given. I can't lie. That cracked me up so much. Now, she did say something that broke my heart. She said that her daughter Pilar was asking about Simon. Apparently, she calls Simon Papa, right? And apparently she was asking about Simon. And of course, Porsha has to tell her, like, Simon is away. He's going to be away for a while. That's the thing. Kids get attached quickly, especially when they enjoy being around you. They love on you. If they do, they get so attached. And so I genuinely feel bad for Porsha and what she has to deal with. And Pilar, because Pilar is out here she's going to wake up and be wondering, like, why did Simon leave? And I hope in due time, Porsha is able to have a candid conversation with her and also help her with therapy, especially because it's like, you don't want her to get attached to someone and then all of a sudden the person is pulled away without a formal goodbye, right? As adults, we have the mental faculties and we have everything, our emotional health developed to a point where we can process sort of that level of information. But I think kids at such a young age, sometimes kids tend to internalize things where they feel like they're the problem, or am I the reason Papa left, And so I think bottom line is you have to be careful who you bring around your children, because your children could get attached and the person may leave. The good thing I would say is Dennis is full on involved in Pilar's life. And I think that is really good because at least she has her father. And so ultimately she may like Simon and think that Simon is Papa, but she loves her daddy. Okay, so I love that she has her dad at the very least. Now, you guys may not like what I have to say, but I genuinely think Ralph and Drew know how to piss each other off. I genuinely believe that. And as somebody who understands how family law works, my thing is, if you know that it is Ralph's time, why are you sitting at the table eating on his time? If you guys, let's be clear, if you ever had to go to court to resolve arrangements for the children, then things are not going well. So, which means you guys are not co-parenting without the help of the courts. You guys even need a freaking app to be able to have conversations. So if that's the case, why would you think it's okay to be at the dinner or at the dining table with your children when it is Ralph's time? You know what time it's going to be. It's on the court order. You would have known the time, okay, 12 o'clock, every third, whatever. You know what time it is. So it is his time. You are meant to have left at that time so that he can have contact with the children. But you chose not to leave at that time. Instead, you were eating at that time. And when he came upstairs, you could have easily said, oh, Ralph, I'm so sorry. Just rounding up now. I'm leaving right now. So sorry about that. That could have been it. Bear in mind that you guys do not have a cordial relationship. If you guys had a relationship where you guys were friends, then it would have been cool. Ralph would have sat down, ate too, and then you would have left. But it's clear that you guys don't have that relationship. So why are you there at his time? That's just, so I don't have to like Ralph, but on that, why are you there on his time? Now, Drew did pull him to the side to have a quick chat with him and brought up this whole exterminator and getting one, right? So Drew is like, she hasn't been able to get around to doing it. Besides, her lawyer said that it is Ralph's duty to organize that. Ralph then said, so Drew was like, oh yeah, she has a lot on her plate. And Ralph is like, you don't pay any bills. What do you have on your plate? I'm like, Ralph, what is your problem, sir? You have issues. You always take things too far. What was the need to say she don't pay bills? We don't even know if you pay bills because word on the street is you have not submitted your financial information. So we don't even know if you have enough money. Okay. So I don't really understand what's going on there. What I will say is they both know how to push each other's buttons and they do it so well. Now, let's talk about the final scene or the garden scene with all the girlies. Now, Porsha genuinely sounded unwell, so that girl needed a pass. But Britt clearly has a hard-on for Kenya. I don't know what it is, but she really does. She's obsessed with Kenya. Like, even her terminology, like, oh, twirl on or whatever, like, girl, were you studying Kenya? Like, did you make it a point that, okay, I'm gonna be the new Kenya and push everyone and push the old Kenya out or the real Kenya out? Like, I don't understand. It just seems too much. It's like one of those people that get fixated on one person and that is all they see. I feel like that's who Britt is. Britt seems fixated on Kenya for whatever reason. Now, what Kenya did was horrible, was horrific, was disgusting. But so did Britt. Britt brought up a whole pow. Okay? That's a threat. That you're now talking about someone's safety. So you are both wrong. Kenya, you're wrong. Britt, you're wrong. Britt started it. Kenya took it straight to hell. They're both wrong. So if people can give you grace, Britt, and they can talk to you, then they can talk to Kenya as well. I think it's delusional that Britt thinks nobody is allowed to talk to Kenya. Like, girl, they knew Kenya before you. They barely even know you. So, of course, everybody's going to talk to Kenya because they've known Kenya for some years. You are a newbie. So I get that you want people to rally around you, but you're not innocent. Maybe if you did not do anything and Kenya came for you like that, then people will rally around you. And I love how Drew in that moment said you were both wrong, because I think someone needed to say it. And I was glad that Drew actually said it, because Drew tends to keep quiet and sometimes I forget she's even in like group settings. I keep saying Angela likes to stir up ish, but she's good for the show. The fact that Britt was out here talking about losing her license, and Angela is like, wait a minute, I have a license, and you don't just lose your license because of some ish like that. Like, what really happened? And I feel like that's a very valid question to ask, because it's like, what are you talking about? Like, how could you lose your license? Are you under investigation, or did you lose your license? Which is it? So I appreciated that Angela stepped in there to make sure that she clarified it. But what I don't understand is Britt is going too far. Like, why was she out here like coming for Angela like that? That is too much. And I hope that Porsha is paying attention, honey, because if this is how Britt moves, it's only a matter of time before she turns on you, Porsha. I hope you know that. Now, you guys, I am really into Porsha's new show on YouTube. Like, I love seeing her funny. I really wish that we could have seen more of Kenya and Porsha on the new season. Sadly, we're not going to see that. So I really hope that it was this also really nice. I actually forgot to mention the Shamia and Porsha scene. I actually really enjoyed seeing them on the screen together. And you can see that they genuinely love each other. I know people are making it seem like, oh yeah, Porsha is jealous of Shamia. I don't believe that for a second. I feel like people are genuinely making it a thing that it isn't. Now, do I think that Porsha could be a better friend? Absolutely. I think Porsha is very self-absorbed. I think Porsha is used to everything being on Porsha's time, that sometimes she can come across a little self-absorbed in her relationships. I stand by that. I like you, Porsha, but that's just how I feel. But I do think because Shamia is a people pleaser, I think Shamia enables the behavior. When somebody is like that, you need to call them out on it. You need to call their attention to it. You need to express how you want to be treated so they can make adjustments. But if you don't talk about it, then they're not going to make the adjustment. Do you guys that Shamia talked about it with Angela and talked about it with Drew, but still hasn't spoken to her friend as to how it really made her feel? So let's be clear. That's something I think Shamia also needs to work on, honey. Yes, being a people pleaser, being non-confrontational. If you want to have a good relationship with your friends based on honesty, you need to vocalize more. Babe, I know I've heard you now, but I will genuinely say I still feel hurt by it. This is how it made me feel. I am doing this, I'm doing that. This is how I feel. Openly say it. There is no need for you to be out here not saying that, and then your friend doesn't know that you're holding something against them, and then you're talking to other people about it instead of just them. So that's just something I want to flag. Now, I know you lot love, and I love me some Shamia, I love me some Porsha, but I think let's be fair. If you had a friend that was out here talking about you in a studio session and did not tell you nothing about it, did not talk to you about how it made them feel, and you're then finding out at the hands or from the mouths of any of these people, you're going to feel away as well. Now, everyone hit that like button. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know every single time that I post. I am literally mumbling my words, okay? But anyways, thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you guys in the chat. Thank you. Bye.